might see some strange picks as we are ready to get into the draft. Let's
first draft of this tournament. Starting things out with these bands. The 4 in the middle, I believe, are not going to be relevant for this game because it's only if they have those tier 4 players in that they get those extra bands. I'll have to see who gets banned first here for final gen, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, what they're going to want to do is take away comfort picks. Of course, it's the classic. You want to get the best players off the comfort picks. And that's what we saw in the scrims. We saw people, beeline and target. We saw 5 mid laners banned. We saw 4 junglers banned. And it's going to be interesting to see if the teams have done their research, looked at the OPGGs and looked at what they should be aiming to cut out.
Yeah, I mean, looking at some of these players, their OPGGs, they've got a lot of flexibility, and immediately we see that Syndra targeted towards Rhea Fury. Like you said, they're ready to go. I mean, other picks expecting to see potentially the Pocket Pike or Styled. I know it's rare, but could come up. I'll have to see.
I would love to see that. And yeah, honestly, it's so cool seeing that. Look at that. You can already see that they have seen Rhea Fury. They know he's the threat. We've got to take him out. We've got to cut him out. When you come for the king, come for his crown, and Rhea Fury Syndra is his crown. It's interesting. Maybe we'll get his Veigar. I was talking to him a little bit earlier about his Veigar, and he was hyping himself up, and I want to see if he can hold his own and hold his words. So I would love to see that pick in this draft.
And speaking of styled bans, immediately that Rakan's going to come out, making sure that they know you got to take these off the table. Kiyose in the chat, a little bit of flame towards Styled, saying he can't play those mechanical supports. It seems that Scrappers are at least a little bit afraid of that pick, is immediately again targeting this mid lane pool. That's the Victor gone.
I think I honestly wouldn't be surprised we get about 4 bans dedicated to taking out Rhea Fury, and honestly maybe even on the same side of the Scrappers. As take a look, Lulu. It's they know who the threats are. They know who the threats are. Left hook, right hook, take them out.
And I mean, just focusing, I mean, maybe that's the strat, focusing down on a single player's pool and just forcing them into this uncomfortable position here as the final ban for final gen to come on through. It will be that Samira taken off the board for 225.
Wow, Samira, I consider that quite a strange ban. If we're talking about metas currently, pro metas and solo queue metas are so different from each other, you can't compare the two. But I didn't even think Samira was anywhere close to being playable at the moment, but seemingly I'm proved wrong.
Yeah, I guess. And there's the Alistar ban as well for taking that off the board for Style. But I guess, yeah, probably just wanting to take away that early game focus. I mean, for now, feats of strength are still in the game, so definitely don't want to let that Samira get ahead, get that collector, and start rolling over the map. But let's see exactly how things go. Orianna, the first pick to come on through for the tournament.
Mobile Mage, but still a safe pick in the mid lane. I think potentially maybe taking it out of Rhea Fury's hands is what, maybe that's the aim of the game here. As a counter, Samira.
Yeah, Siv's going to have that spell shield locked down as well, taking away the Jarvan Orianna combo. So it's going to be good to get that out of the hands of Erdogan, because that can be pretty nasty.
I've seen a couple Nocturne Oriannas, and without the ban on the Scrappers side of things, with Nocturne open, it could be the angle. It really could be the angle. Orianna sets up just such massive plays, and as we talked about before with those big team fights deciding it all, one Orianna ult changes everything. So we get a Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao lock-in.
Another champion that's died and been brought back to life, if you know. Going to be interesting to see how this goes into things. I'm hearing from chat that the bans might be backwards. Let's see how that goes. But immediately the Tristana here as well to round out this first round.
A mixture of sort of comps as we look for the Tristana, which is a bit of a sort of engage ADC. You know, you want to get those resets, you want to get those jumps off. And I think they're forming a semi sort of catch out engage comp is at least my prediction. I love making predictions on drafts. I love trying to sort of angle what we could get and what we could see next. And I'm thinking maybe they would round it out. I'm thinking maybe a follow-up engage for a support.
At least hang on a moment.
Whoa!
Okay. I mean, you want an Orianna counter. There you go. Zed
Right on the
immediately
plate.
going to be
Silver.
locked in. All those mid
That's gonna
lane
be-
bans, I guess it won't even matter.
No, you try and take out his AP. He has AD in reserve. You cannot ban out Refury. It's going to be a Vladimir ban.
Interesting. Maybe just trying to take away a little bit more of that team fight potential. I mean, so many tools so far to get that shockwave into the middle of fights. You've got the Trist jump. You've got the long range Jin Jiao engage. You've got a lot of tools at your disposal without even a support locked in yet. Might see something like the Braum. That bot lane is pretty solid overall. Potentially even the Leona for more of that engage.
I would love to see a Leona here. I think it's very strong. The moment that you see this Zed, it's these sort of hyper carry champions that if you don't have CC on your team, you're going to be in for a rough time. So I think immediately Final Gen is thinking, we got to get some CC on their competence. We don't have much at the moment. As a Talon ban on Scrappers and a Rumble ban on Final Gen goes through.
Interesting. They must know something that we don't, because mid and jungle have both been picked. Potentially, there is some secret sorcery being plotted out by these teams as Gwen, that last ban to come through here. We're into the last bit.
I think I do see what's
phase.
going on here is Scrappers might have forced themselves into having to play an AP champ, of course, because they're all AD. And Final Gen has responded by banning out only AP champs, trying to get that top lane pool removed as a Yuumi has been locked in. Severe Yuumi.
Sivir, Yuumi, bot lane. This is going to be incredibly frustrating to play against for Final Gen
Isn't
here.
it just?
Oh, that
We got
laning
shields,
phase is going to
we
be
got
nasty.
heals, we got poke. It is it's the classic. I mean, it really is one of the most classic lanes, and for a good reason, for very good reason. It's hard to stop. It's hard to put down, even with the Nautilus. You know, those dredge lines coming through. One spell shield. What can you do? And look at the prediction from myself here as we get a Yorick locked in top.
Toppy giveth. The community loves it. Immediately the lock in here, and I wonder what they're going to pick in counter, because you have to get something to get out of that cage, because locking down can just be absolutely nasty. It will be the Jax, so it does have a little bit of potential to get out of that situation. Like, going to be a bit nasty though.
Classic counter to Yorick. And what I like about the Jax pick as well is with a little bit of itemization, he can go quite hybrid. You can get the Zonyas. I mean, you could go Nashes. This could be an AP Jax. That's completely viable. And as a Yorick main myself, he's actually one of the hardest counters into Yorick, even more so than AD Yorick. But I love it. I love that pick. I love these comps. I think I prefer I think in at least early game to mid game, Final Gen's comp is really going to show its dominance. But if the Scrappers can come out with the Severe, with the Yuumi, if they can reach that late game and Refury is here to blow up that Orianna and blow up that Tristana, it's going to be close either way. It's going to be very, very close.
I'm really interested to see how Scrappers play around this comp, because it's very heavily AD focused. Toppy and Start, even Erdogan can just absolutely run away with the game if they build even a modicum of armor. You've got the Orianna as well. There isn't really an enchanter here on Final Gen. Usually you see that combo with the Jin Jiao for a little bit more teamfight control, but even still, they might just run away with the fights.
Yeah, I think if Erdogan, I'm so interested in what their plan is with Yorick. There's so many different ways you can play him, if they want to team fight with him, if they want to split push with him. But what's really needed for the Yorick into Jax matchup is you need to get that Yorick ahead early. If he gets ahead early, then the counter is completely neutralized. So Erdogan is going to have to play topside here. But if he plays topside, then we're leaving that Severe Yuumi to just scale for free. So he is going to have to make split seconds decisions to decide how he wants to allow this game to progress.
Yeah, it's going to come down to these captains to see which of them has coached their teams properly, gotten them ready, making sure that they understand the fundamentals, these styles of play, making sure they don't lose their cool under pressure as we head into the first game of this tournament. The Oceanic Resurrection has begun. I'm super excited to get into it.
See it. It's going to be absolutely cool. I really think, I just want to say really quickly, Refury, I think that's going to be one of the most interesting lanes to watch. Orianna is actually very easily killed by a good Zed. And it's gonna be the choice to see if Refury is a good enough Zed to take out. It's all mechanics. It's on that champion, it is all mechanics. And this will be a proving ground to see if he's got the mechanics to practically carry this game. I think in terms of who holds the game in their hands, right now I'm looking at the junglers and I'm looking at the mid laners.
Yeah, if Final Gen can get ahead, there isn't really many targets that Refury can go after, right? Obviously, Tristana has that jump away. The rest of the team is pretty tanky if they can get ahead, so you really need that early pressure, get a few items before Nort can really get online, and maybe turn the game in favor, but we'll have to see how things go. These drafts are complete. I believe the game is just about ready.
Loading in now, I believe. And it's going to see, I don't know if you saw, of course, what's happening next year, but are you going to miss the Atacon? Are you going to miss the changes that we've had this whole year for?
I think it's a little bit of a bait objective overall, in the sense that, again, taking another bit of information and bit of bias from my friend Vestian, it is a little bit of a bait objective in the sense that the armor shred is just so hard to fight around if it's contested even slightly. So it's going to be interesting to see if these teams can bring it in, or if they can absolutely just dominate, take the objective, and then you set up the entirety of that late game. Those pedals are absolutely nasty.
Yeah. And that is just another test of how these captains have trained their teams.
Yeah.
Have they warned them about the bait? Because I agree completely. I do think Atacon is it's such a strong objective just in terms of how much damage it does to your team, how much it shreds. It can take a losing game, which you just want to win more, and completely flip it for the enemy. And we saw that a lot in scrims where players were just beelining, almost tunnel visioning on this Atacon, and it just flips the game completely. And so it's going to be interesting to see if they've learned from their mistakes, if they've learned from the games that they've played. But I don't know. I'm not holding out any hope just because I personally do the exact same thing. I love Atacon so much. I love flipping the game on Atacon. It's one of my favorite objectives they've added. I'm going to be sad to see it gone next year, but there's so many changes next year. I can't wait.
I mean, those Fey Lights, for one, as a support main, every single jungler, you're cooked. You're done. That is just going to be impossible to play against, especially with the changes as well. Those role quest supports really have it a bit rough compared to the other lanes. You know, AD carries get another whole item. You know, top laners get a free TP, and junglers just get a little bit of extra damage on their smite and some movement speed. You know.
Yeah. I think I personally like it. I like a refreshment of the game. I like all these new things going to add in. And I think as well, I personally, you know, there's been whispers on the wind of turning tour into an annually thing. And so I would just love to have 2 different tours, you know, a different tour going on with these different changes that Riot adds, you know. And personally, for those quests, I must say as well, top lane, I'm a top lane main at heart. I'm very happy with the changes. Level 20. Imagine yourself, imagine being a level 11 Nautilus and a level 20 Cho'Gath comes stomping down from the top lane, ready to feast.
I'm going to be cooked. Honestly, if a Camille just comes down to bot lane, I'm screwed. I'm not sure what to do in that situation.
The first game.
Yeah, we're into it. The first game of this tournament. I'm super excited to get things into it. You can see the patch 25.24. Atacon still around for a little bit longer. Won't be dead just yet. There's already a little bit of pressure towards the mid lane here. That is Refury in streamer mode.
That's unfortunate. I believe Refury just changed his name to a large array of numbers.
Looks like already a bit of a fight in the mid lane. Things going probably not exactly how you'd want for scrappers. Objectives, sorry, summon spells rather, flying all across. That's all of bot lane gone instantly, and Styled gonna have an easy time in this lane dealing with this Yuumi now.
The heavy scaling lane, and for what Severe Yuumi is looking for, you really don't want to be starting the game with all your summoners just blown completely.
Lived, showing off that dominance as well in this matchup. Probably gives you a bit of PTSD as well.
Oh, I can't. It fills me with rage. It's going to make Yorick, when you're laning phase, especially early is pretty much the only time you can get ahead of a Jax. Just any modicum of damage is enough to change the tides, and that little bit of damage right there is going to set his lane up for a disaster.
Yeah, that phase rush as well. We get in and out of those situations, especially with that slow resistance, to prevent that E from really doing much at all.
That phase rush may decree that it is an AP Jax, which is what I mentioned before, and that might actually round off their team comp, giving them the AP damage. So, you know, that armor doesn't completely wipe him out. Isn't that crazy? I'm a firm Jax disliker, because Toppy's going to be struggling here for a majority of the lane.
Bot lane, not going to have too much action. You got to imagine here, 225 and Row wanting to wait until those summoner spells are back online towards the mid lane as well. Rear Fury got pushed out a little bit. Some good laning there from Saw to start things off.
The early game for Zed is just going to be difficult. It's a classic sort of ranged into melee matchup. But if he can get through staying on somewhat equal CS, not losing a huge amount of health, I think it's so greedy of him to go the longsword start.
Yeah.
Opting not to go the Doran shield, again, really good Orianna player, is certainly the greed that I love. But if it'll work out for him, we'll have to see in the lane.
Junglers going about the business for the time being, expecting XX to probably get an early gank going potentially towards this bot lane once they hit level 3.
Boy.
Already a bit of engage, flash on in, styled. The ignite comes down, there's no summoners left. Maybe they can find the first one, and it will be Aqua claiming the first blood of this tournament.
Wow, and you saw it there, without any summoners, they're in trouble. This hard scaling lane is just at the mercy of the Nord at the Tristana jump. And it's going to be, I think we can just get that on repeat, or at least that's what Final Gen is going to want to be looking for.
Looking to run it all the way towards topside now. Trying to find some sort of redemption for what happened down there. Dark Procession. Going to force him off. Flash traded back and forth. Will get out alive for the time being. Liv probably going to claim the wave while he's at it. No kill.
A liberal use of summoner spells, as most people haven't blown. At least bot lanes is coming up soon. You can really see there, by the way, without Yorick having flashed, I consider that so worth it. You know, the Jax has the jump, he has the mobility to get on that Yorick, and without flash now, it's just free pickings for this Jax. It really is.
Yeah, oh, big trade mid. That's going to help a lot, especially with Zed's health currently. Still doesn't have the chance to back yet. Go on TP this time, so won't have too much of that pressure. Yeah, we can see Toppy going to be forced play a bit safer here. Playing around these minions, trying to get that Triforce probably online immediately. Still the Jarvan towards top. And look at this pressure that the Jax can provide. It's crazy.
It's genuinely absurd. And by the way, if you saw that E trade, that's only with an Amp Tome. That's just with an Amp Tome and boots.
Ooh. A little bit aggressive there from Aqua on the worst side of this trade for the time being, but it's a little bit of damage back at the very least. Probably going to back, or at least get those honey fruit in the river soon.
You see the confidence from 225 holding that severe spell shield. Not even sort of faking it out when the Nort dredge line went through there. It really this is the top level of game. This really is, as we'll see this confidence. We'll see, you know, the highs and the lows as we get level 6 hit for the mid lane.
This
time to kill
itemization is crazy right now. No
pickaxe to longsword.
No Merc Tread components, anything like that. Pickaxe to longsword has lived, goes a bit aggressive with the ultimate. Traded back in turn, not necessarily wants to dive that just yet. Sword gets caught out, and that's another kill. This time traded back here. Rhea Fury picking that one up. And what a good Scryer's Bloom there, spotting out Erdogan, preventing any sort of move towards this Cloud Drake. Yeah.
I think with Zed getting that kill, that's exactly what Final Gen does not want. If he gets ahead, it's gonna be a disaster.
Ooh, Toppy gonna be forced to back now as well. It looks like
no TP, and take a look at the mana on that Yorick and that Jax.
Rhea Fury. Never mind, won't be able to catch in time. No TP to come back, so I don't exactly know.
Dropping the ward.
What he was going to do there with the ward, but
vision collected on tower. Very important information.
Hey, there you go. Extra 5 gold for you there, Toppy. He'll take that where he can get it. Junglers and mid lanes towards the objective. Going to be secured, I believe, by... It was secured by XX. The Scrappers will have that vision towards those grubs before they spawn, trying to claim any progression at all towards those feats of strength.
Yeah, we're having very sort of equal CS numbers. What an absolute
trade.
huge trade from
Yeah, it gets...
from the Zed there. Look at that damage. Pickaxe, longsword power spike. The well-known.
Gets a little bit of that first strike gold as well. A little bit of a how do you do in mid lane, and then back to try and get probably that clips built up, I imagine. Brutalizer picked up there.
Bit of a lane swap going on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing more depressing than, I imagine as a support, seeing your ADC stomp back to lane with, even after a kill, with just a scout slingshot. I think that item is such a sad item to see, especially with the lead. Offers very little. Very little.
It doesn't really do too much overall, but I mean, you got to build it.
Yeah.
At very least.
It's an unfortunate component, and all the other items to build at a strange level of gold. And start off with a Cloud Drake. Now, in terms of Drakes, Cloud Drakes is going to be so broken for Team Scrappers. And movement is going to be king. Dodging the Nort, dodging the Orianna, dodging the Yorick. If they can collect a couple clouds, if they can collect just a couple movement speed items, those boots, those feats are going to become very important as well.
Objectives traded a piece. Early Cloud Drake going to be good, helping them get away from all of those slows.
And take a look at the Jack's itemization here. Poppy's gone for the plated steel caps, which that gives me the vibe that he is going to be going for a more team fighting oriented pick for Yorick, but it's just going to make his lane really difficult. He's just dumped so much gold into something practically useless, into an AP Jax. And while there is a hybrid damage, and while Jax's a large amount of his damage is autos.
Ooh, hang on a moment. Big damage, the ult to come on in. Tower tanking for the moment. Saw, is there enough damage? We'll trade the 1-for-1 at the end of it all. Good play there from Saw to try and bring things back 2-2.
Fury attempting to flash out of the tower range, but I think that tower shot was always connected, unfortunately. But he does complete his item with that kill, the Cyclo Sword.
Cyclo Sword,
catching
this
these
is going to be
people out
nasty.
so easily. As we also get on Orianna's side going for a very, of course, the classic defensive
hang on a
build.
moment. Oh, depth charge to come on through. Did it connect? It didn't connect in time. The flash got out in the nick of it. Will give them a lot of jungle control. Was hoping probably to get that feat of warfare online.
Yeah, going for that third kill is going to be so important for both teams.
Especially with that Tristana pressure on these towers. It's going to make that demolition be a lot easier to claim, especially with how dominant they've seemed in this laning phase so far. Then again,
They've got the sort of tower taking comp, really. You've got the Tristana and you've got the Yorick. I'm really hoping that potentially there's a change up and maybe we get a maiden release from Toppy. Maybe we get sort of a split push and one of these team fights a used TP to get a huge amount of lead gold from towers.
Ooh, good escape there from Rhea Fury. We'll have to see how much longer it can last as Saw not wanting to give that over. Somehow that connects and instantly Rhea Fury fails the W over the wall as well.
Wow.
And there will be the feat of warfare secured. Rhea Fury. Oh, cut the camera.
The W, you saw the W just sitting sort of right next to the wall. A very unfortunate classic. A situation we've all been in. It's a perfect flash.
I mean, that was gorgeous there from Toppy. I mean, lives up to the name. The absolute GOAT of the top laners. Looks like even more action across the board. Depth charge going to be used this time around. Good spell shield completely dodges that charge. The flash alt auto. Oh, well, that's clean. And Arthur claims it. 4-2 on the board. Gold lead secured for the first time this game. And they're going to get some free damage on this bot tower.
Yeah, I mean, Aqua's mechanics there, you know, he knows his champion. He knows that Tristana so well. He knew exactly the amount of damage he needed. Just the R and just the auto to finish off Severe there. As that Psycho Sword slow is incredible.
Oh, somehow that connected. Ult's going to be used. Clean kill secured. There will be another kill on the board for Rhea Fury. Brings it to 3. The only one on the team so far to have that. It looks like a little bit of proxying come off here from Lived.
Certainly a good player to have the kills on. That said, can really take over as well as sort of, you know, get a little bit deeper into the game. Gold values go, you know, skewed to either side. If bounties build up, Zed's a classic execution champion to collect those bounties. We get a Sundered Sky on both sides. What do you think about these bruiser sort of semi-engaged junglers? In both,
I mean, especially with the way these comps function, it's going to be incredibly hard to deal with them before they can get huge amounts of damage online, especially with the ultimates, right? The Xin Zhao ult completely just negates so much damage, as it looks like so much pressure towards bot lane as well here. Erdogan going to secure this Gromp, probably, unless the
225 struggling to get to lane.
Yeah, this is brutal here. Rhea Fury's here for a bit of backup, but that's 3 plates gone already. A lot of gold in this Tristana's pocket. Still only a 500 gold lead across the board.
Almost finishing the cull, it's going to be a huge amount of gold. And you can see a lot of everyone sort of taken wind to the fact, I believe, I wish I could have heard the comms the moment they locked in these 3 AD picks, because everyone seems to be scrambling for plated steel caps on Team Final Gen.
Lived.
Fire Drake going over to the team there. Not gonna be as game changing as the Cloud Drake stacking, but still gonna be needed, still important nonetheless. As, yeah, look at Lived going for this very deep proxy.
I don't even know. I mean, he might as well be in their base at this point. He's all the way in Narnia. We'll be able to get out to safety at the very
He's
least.
level 11 though.
So much CS. Yeah, I mean, this Jax is going to be so annoying to deal with. Gonna have to perfectly buffer these Tristana Ws to get away in time. Look at that gold. 4,000. Still a lot behind. Actually, never mind. This proxying isn't exactly helping out Liv too much.
No, somehow, I mean,
this game.
The Yorick Ghouls, I love them personally. You don't have to worry too much about CSing. They just get your gold anyway. But take a look at Rhea Fury's gold lead. 2k, isn't that a nasty lead? He's turned
matched with Aqua.
Yeah, really. And I hate to say, you know, ADC versus mid laner, but I've got my eyes on Rhea Fury and taking Aqua down because Aqua's acquired themselves a little bit of a bounty, I believe. 100 gold bounty at this point. But every piece of gold matters.
I might be in a bit of trouble here. That's the tower going down. You have to imagine. Never mind. Deathmark going to come on in, looking for a depth charge. Fights it back. Shockwave not going to be there. Nice flash. Almost falls for it there, Siled, but bit of a trade in the bot lane rather. Tower probably still going to fall soon. You got to imagine, but Rhea Fury trying desperately to hold on to that.
Great use of shadow control by Rhea Fury. Oh yeah, I mean he dodged the Orianna R, the flash, forced out the flash from the Nautilus. That was a really big win for the Scrappers, just in terms of what was used. Though, I believe at the same time, Tristana does take that first tower bot.
Yeah, 2 objectives apiece, but the tower will be claimed. Erdogan going very aggressive, almost finds the kill instantly. Flash over the wall, might find it. 225 has to run for the hills. Nice ult there. The Cataclysm might be enough. Yuumi, come on there now as well. Going to be forced off, not wanting to deal with this Orianna, even without the ult. Still pretty scary, but they'll get out to safety with the objective in hand.
You can see sort of the team fighting potential of the Scrappers there, though. You know, the J4 ult combined with just a Jax jumping in, and with the Nash's complete and 2 more books on the way, that's going to be such a big burst of damage.
But they're running out of room to work with, because that's all 3 tier 1 towers taken down. That's a 3k gold lead at 16 minutes.
Team Demolition doing their job.
They've got so much control in these lanes. Rhea Fury spotted. Looking for the angle. They've got the team fight around mid. Deathmark to come on in once again. Aqua Forced to run. It will be enough to take him down. That's the shutdown secured. That's 2 kills. Looking for more. Erdogan in a little bit of trouble. Saw as well. Forced off for the moment. The boomerang, almost enough. But there won't be 2 kills to the side of Scrap as they try and bring things back. And they'll take a sizable chunk out of this gold lead.
You could see the Cyclo Sword slow from Refury
yeah.
there. Just incredibly stopping any movement away. And combining that with the J4 engage, I can tell that this has been thought about. This Zed pick wasn't just on the spot. All of these comps have been considered. I honestly even think with the Yorick and Tristana, even that was considered. As that Rift Herald tries to claw back at least one tower, and Liv will get one as well. But that gold evens out. That gold does even out though.
Yeah. I just said they had a 3k gold lead like a minute ago.
Yeah, I just looked up and
Instantly,
I was like,
that's been
what
erased.
I actually, honestly, something a little bit I noticed, and seemingly the chat noticed as well. A bit of Yorick tech is you can use the Yorick W to block the Wall of Mourning. You can use it to block the Rift Herald charge, and Toppy chose not to block that Rift Herald charge, which is a very big aspect. You can completely invalidate the objective, which is a little bit of Yorick tech, which maybe will be seen and used in different games then.
We'll have to see as 2 minutes left till this Arakan spawns. We'll be on that bot side. Seen a fair amount of action this game, so I can't blame him for spawning on in there. These plans can be so useful for this Nautilus to get into these fights.
And we've got an
away for the moment.
Look at the Tristana build.
Yeah.
IE Yuntal.
The Wild Arrow is probably fully stacked up at this point as well, so...
Absolutely. She's going to be doing so much damage. And honestly, if this Zed can be locked down by the Dredge line, by the Nort, he's only going to have seconds to react. So there is a chance, like, both teams are honestly so even right now.
Implant. Or Chemtech rather, going to be secured. Second dragon on the board here is a bit of free gold in this top side. Gold lead secured. That's a 1k gold lead for the side of Scrappers.
It shows how even these teams are, that we are almost 20 minutes into a game and it's only a 1k gold lead. You know, like, isn't that absolutely absurd by how balanced these teams are? That we can be 20 minutes into a game, we can have so much fighting going on, and still... it's still anyone's game. There is no clear winner.
I mean, that has to be to the credit of these coaches as well for teaching their teams and just building up that synergy and not falling under the pressure there. It's almost completely even at this point. Not long now until this objective spawns though, so we could see a bit of things unravel here. Zed forced off for the moment. Those boots going to be very useful. Upgraded completely here for Aqua. Didn't want to even take the chance of this Zed ulting again.
Your bait objective, the infamous. We'll see if either team takes the bait. Zadakan is spawning and warping this game as it always does. Jax TPing in as well. It's going to be a fight for sure.
Everyone gathering around for the objective.
Vision control is just the aim of the game right now. If we can control Tribushes, we can control this Anakan.
You can hear the pings coming down. They've spotted Rear Fury. For the moment, Jarvan forced off. That's the EQ gone. Now, that gives Erdogan a lot of room to work with.
Yeah, he's...
over the wall. Spots a fair amount of information.
That pink ward has stayed in that Tribush for a decent amount of time as well. If they can't get rid of it, it's going to be impossible for an engage to happen. But of course, even with that IE, even with that Yuntal, Adakan takes a long amount of time to complete. It really does, and their resistances will be shred.
A little bit of damage, looking for that Cataclysm, but no backup there in time. There's the EQ instantly. Flash out of the way. Might be able to find the Shockwave. Pushing on in, looking for the first kill, gonna find it. And now, how does the rest of the fight go? On the hunt, might find a bit of damage here for 225, still untouched in the fight. Liv going in, finds 3 with the counter-strike, looking for more, finds the first. 225, dying, almost falls on down, will be able to, but the kiting is clean. Erdogan, still here, still alive, lived. This AP Jax needs to make something work. It's a 2v3, looking for more. The Yumi might find it. This is a crazy fight to go on down here, but Erdogan is still alive and kicking this Xin Zhao is not dead despite the reports. And the ace secured for Final Gen. And what a fight that was.
Team fight! That was crazy. That was absurd. It did not end. It was like, okay, you know, we've had our engages, we've had our sort of damage has been done, and it just kept going on. We missed it as well, but you didn't really get to see, but Zed, Refury, attempted to zone off and take out the backline there, getting the death mark and getting on to Saw and Aqua, but did not have the damage.
Looking for something, steals it!
Oh my god!
And that's the Jarvan find the first steal of the tournament, baby. There we go.
The first game! Atacon,
I mean, what a way to do it.
Over to Team Scrappers.
Just
a
walks
trade
in.
for his life. He does not care. Going into Kmart and picking up an Atacon on the weekend, and he's happy to take it. Levels, gold. Wow.
I mean, that was the most Giga Chad play I've seen all game there. He just, no fear, just walks in and just steals it away. Erdogan perhaps didn't have smite. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that Q combo was a bit too much damage there, but I mean, that's going to be very, very helpful for this AP Jax for sure.
That team fight, you know, maybe it didn't look good for the Scrappers, but at the end of the day, they got what they wanted. They got exactly what they wanted. Ooh.
Rear Fury's caught. Shockwave going to be secured. They're just going to throw everything at him and it will be enough.
Look at the CC
Rampage
combo.
here for Erdogan.
That CC combo.
Can't get away. And that's exactly what we were talking about with this lockdown onto the Zed. Just immediately catching him out. No flash available. No W available. And immediately probably going to be rethinking that. The most kills on the team, but also the most deaths here for Rear Fury.
Yeah,
and a bit of a problem for the team.
Oh, this is the classic Yorick. He cannot do anything. The trade back is minimal at best into the Jax. As if Lived is smart enough, taking out that Maiden will just take this Yorick out of the game for a good couple amount of time.
Walks into the E and just going to get autoed to death.
I eat my words. I eat my words. Absolutely.
That's the Yorick, baby.
Look at that, the Maiden bait. I believe Lived maybe had his eyes set on the Maiden of the Mist a little too tunnel visioned. As we forget that Yorick is more bruiser focused now and has his own damage as well.
He's got that Shojin online. He's got that Triforce as well. This is not a champion you want to mess with, especially with those two Chemtexes. Meanwhile, Aqua just solo killing, I believe. Never mind, not solo killing, but still taking down Rear Fury. Back to the gray screen again. These solo laners dropping like flies. And that gold lead that they had is falling once again.
And something that you can notice is the team, Final Gen is building very defensively, actually. You know, Spirit Shojin, all of this giving health. You know, you've got the Xin Zhao with health items, the Orianna with the Seraphs, and the Roa. And as they get more defensive...
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
That's really devastating.
Heartbreaking.
Oh my god, that's rough. But what I was saying...
And caught on camera as well.
Yeah, I know, for everyone to see.
I feel bad.
1 second off. He's gonna be thinking about that in his bed tonight and lamenting over that. But
2-5 might be in a bit of trouble. Gets out of the way of the wind, becomes lightning, and will escape for the moment. Had to burn the ghost to do so, so won't have that for the next fight. And Baron's up. They're just gonna start it instantly.
Wow, this is a brave Baron with no picks done.
No
They're just getting it, but they are rinsing it pretty quickly.
Yeah. No ult for the Jarvan, zoned off for the moment. Jax isn't even nearby. They can't contest this until the TP comes through.
Really
but it might be a bit too
TP.
late. Look at the zoning. They're going to find it. And now how does the rest of the fight go? Big chunk of damage on towards the Jarvan. Forced off. That's 2 ults towards this Tristana. And Tristana just still lives. Look at the kiting. It's there. It's clean. A double kill secured. Looking for more. Unstoppable for Eridan. And Toppy finds the last. The triple kill for Aqua. And they steamroll this fight.
That is such an efficient team fight. It was just 2 late reactions from the Scrappers there. Final Gen so bravely without any picks, starting it up and just committing to it. Aqua, Saw, rinsing it. Toppy with that % health damage from the Maiden, just rinsing that Baron. And the TP from Liv was just a little bit too late, as they're going to take out the first best of 1 for the tournament.
And in emphatic fashion, they will do it as well. Style falls to the tower all the same, but 19-8. What a showing from Final Gen.
That was incredible. That was incredible. A game so close to the very end. Do you think that was just the J4 ult being used, being wasted, that caused the enemy team to be like, all right, let's Baron. It's our go time.
I think so. It was a little bit of that, but there was also a very, very late TP from Lived there. Just a little bit not on the same page. I mean, we saw that from Rhea Fury a fair amount in this game. You know, credit to him, he's a great player. We saw that on the Zed early on, but just kept getting caught out in those situations, and it really didn't give the Scrappers any room to work with.
Yeah, that dream situation of you're a mid laner, you've got the gold, you've got the items. Your time is now, let's kill the ADC. And we saw it in that final team fight, but Aqua just flashed away. And at that point in the game, with that IE complete, he just had too much damage. The Zed just got instantly blown out without any CC needed, really. And the feats of warfare also coming in and applying that just tiny little shield to just protect enough against Rhea Fury's damage to take him out.
Yeah, I mean, also huge credit to this bot lane. I mean, Styled and Aqua, both of them. Just that early fight in the mid lane, taking away those objectives, finding that first blood as well. They had complete dominance from start to finish, and they never really let go of the breaks.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that we can get just such a bold move on the Atacant, just walking in, taking it for it, and still ending up losing the game. It's crazy that, you know, stakes can go high and low like that and still twist and turn. Any game is winnable and any game is losable in Tour right now.
It absolutely is. And I mean, what a way to start things off. We've got so many more games to go.
Yep, and we will head off to break before we get into the next game.